Rampage has been one of the favorite junglers for me to go high damage in the early game, and then as those carries start to really up the damage, and of course the casters as well, then you can transition into some tank. Now here in Monolith, obviously tank is a little bit harder to do, so that's what this build is going to really try to emphasize as well. So we start off with some damage, which works very well with his ultimate, and go into some tank. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Sylphin. Welcome to my hero building guide series. If you were looking for just the build and just the deck, go to the end of the video, as that is where we take a little more in-depth approach to it. So like I said, some damage here in the early game, and then we go into some tank in the later game. The kind of purpose of the build is to, in the late game, be a little bit more of a sustained presence and have some shred here on the Splinter Bark Vest and Scorpion Plate, so that you can sustain and get that what little damage you do have actually adds up over time, but then you can also be helpful for your friendly team as well. Mad Spore Sash, because you're going to be tanking, hopefully staying around the enemies quite a fair bit, then you can deal that damage over time with the Mad Spore Sash. So here in the jungle, we start over on this right white camp here, making sure to nicely kite them so that they don't deal very much damage. Now the very first card we get is, interestingly enough, and I think that this does work especially for Rampage, a Madstone Gem. A Madstone Gem. What you can do is get the Madstone Gem with a 1-point upgrade in there, and get some good amount of damage here in the early game. What it also does is enable you to very nicely, obviously, get damage and kind of get these lanes or these minion camps cleared quicker, and also do a little bit more when you do potentially go into gank. It also really speeds up how many cards you can get in the early game, because they are 5-point cards with fully upgraded bonuses, so it works quite nicely. That's what I'm trying here. I thought that was a very interesting a difference that we can make here in this video. Very first ability, start with King of the Jungle. It's your passive, and it gives you 0.5 health regen per second, and also an additional 3 in the jungle. So you have some good sustain here, and we need wards, because there was a purple camp there, and the enemy somebody is cloaked. So the King of the Jungle, that is what gives us the sustain here in this early game. So we don't have to get we don't have to get a Sylphin. We can just go into the passive and get some good damage. So there is that as well. I'm thinking of ganking here in this right lane, simply because they are pushed up quite a bit. I'm actually going to say on my way right lane here, as I'm going to come in from behind and see what we can do. All right, so I'm coming in from behind here on this Greystone. This should be a kill for sure. There we go. That's a nice kill there, but unfortunately we can't do very much for this on this Seraph. So you can you can definitely be ganking here in this early game. The issue is that it's just nobody's doing much damage at all, so it's very risky. There I felt very safe doing so, simply because the, let's see if I'm gonna say I need some help here. I feel like I can out-sustain this Seraph here for sure. I'm gonna do that, and that should be a kill. There we go. Very nicely done. Good job indeed. I'm gonna go back here, spend these card points. As you know, Seraph is trying to be tricky, but I'm just playing it smart. I'm playing it smart. Finishing off these Madstone Gems, and then going into your Guardian's Ward. You can't go too long without it, so unfortunately we have 2 card power instead of 3, so I would really like to get that. Now, a key ability you saw me use there on the Greystone and on the Seraph there was his Boulder. Boulder throw, it's your Q ability. You deal 131 ability damage. It's an okay amount, but the more important part, the more powerful part by far, is the stun on hit for 2 seconds. For 2 seconds. It is an infinite amount of time, it feels like, when you actually hit it on somebody at a very opportune moment. It is monstrous. You really need to save it for key moments. Like there on the Seraph, I saved it for that moment where she was going to, you know, kill me, or, you know, get that edge right at the end there. Key moments. So for example here, I'm gonna have to save it for the Narbash ultimate and the Gideon ultimate. I'm going to have to save that for sure. So that is something that you have to think about. What abilities does my Boulder throw counter? And you really have to focus on saving it for that. The other thing that you need to save it for is for other key moments, like what I did with that Seraph. She was probably going to try to get away if she felt like my regen was kicking in too much, or for, you know, like what was more happening there was that I was in trouble and I wanted to say, are you serious right now? Rampage can't fit through there? Interesting. Very interesting. So I'm gonna get this and see if what we can do here on this Gideon. So again, your goal is to gank. So I'm going to try to boo. There we go. Very nicely done. But he has his teleport. He has his teleport. Oh no! There we go. Very nicely done. Yeah, baby. All right, so again, I'm thinking, what is that opportune moment to use my stun? I thought that he was going to teleport through the fog wall there, and then I was going to use it. So that is what you're kind of thinking of. What's that opportune time here? Does the Gideon have mana, attack, buff? Can't. Okay. Well, he won't. I will certainly get it here instead. And the next ability that you did see me use there to get a little closer to that Gideon was Rampage's Leap. It's a solid ability. It's one that makes him one of the most elusive characters, the most hard to deal with tanks for sure. Here in Paragon, and it's a leap attack. You leap a fair distance, not that far, 1,000 unit range, dealing 91.8 ability damage on landing. But you can actually use your basic attack to come out of the air a little earlier. You kind of defy physics somehow, and you come crashing down a little bit early. So here on this minion camp, you can do stuff like that to get a little bit of damage off on these camps. Just boom, just like that. Just because it doesn't cost that much mana, just a little bit of extra damage. But we have our ultimate, baby, and it is nuts. Enraged, buff for 12 seconds. That gives you 75 health regen for that duration, meaning you are a health regen beast, just able to generate so much health back. Level 1 is actually not that much. Level 3, it's very significant. But there's a few things that also happens. Your pounce range is increased to 3,300 units. It's like you're Superman flying through the air for what seems like forever. And then your Boulder throw is also instant. So there's a very annoying there's a very annoying delay between when you actually pick it up, like you just saw me there. He should be Kobe. Aww. There's that annoying delay, but what you can do is go into your ultimate, and then that Boulder throw is instant. So very nice kind of part of that is if you are, if you're in trouble, you can use your ultimate to start regenerating that health, And then you don't have to wait for that delay to stun somebody when you're trying to escape. So there definitely is that. Here, let me see if I can do something for this Serath here. Uh-oh. Oh, did I hit her? Did I hit her? Did I get that? I don't know. Oh, rats. I don't even know if I got that. Oh, damn. And, oh, but I'm not defending the mid lane, which I probably should have done. I wanted to maybe see if I could save our Murdoch there, which was probably a little bit more important, but that mid lane should be okay. There's a Gideon not pushing our mid lane, so that worked okay. Now, a very interesting trick is that you can actually fake people out here. You can actually fake people out. Oh, very nicely done. I'm going to use my ultimate here to regenerate this health that I am losing here. And you know what? A very cool thing that you can do with your ultimate. He misses his stun here on hiya! Aww. What you can do is actually proc your. I'm going to leap out of here. As I don't have my stun to stun that Narbash again. That is one of the abilities I'm going to have to really focus on trying to interrupt. One of the things you can do though is you can pick up your Boulder and then press your control button to actually cancel the ability. What that does is it totally freaks out the enemy team. Absolutely, completely it jukes them out because they think you're gonna throw it, right? But then you just drop it, and oh boy, you can play amazing mind games here with this. Like here, he knows I have my rock here. I'm actually gonna throw it on that Narbash. Oh, Murdoch! Yes! Oh, yes! Yes! Oh, amazing! That 2-second stun, guys, is so damn good. It is so damn good. And you know what? We're just gonna keep pushing this. So here, like this Twin Blast here, I'm gonna pick up my rock, and then you know I'm gonna totally freak him out here. I'm gonna knock him down. Yes, burn him. I don't have my ultimate, or else I actually would go in there and tank the tower. But unfortunately, I don't have the mana now. So only one minion here. Are they going in? Are they going in? Oh shit. Ah, shit! I should have gone out. I should have gone in because then the tower would have affected me. I maybe, yeah. He's saying no, that was my fault, but you know, I definitely think I could have done better there. So the cards that we have gotten so far is finally we got an award. Oh, but guys, defend mid lane, Countess. Oh, she has the buff. I mean, you can't be ignoring, yeah, so getting a mid lane is tower is not good. You need to be defending your mid lane. In general, mid lane is very, very important, gives you that security. So there you go. Oh yeah. So the cards we've gotten is that ward, obviously it's going to be very, very important. I should be warding off the enemy jungle here. I should be warding that off. And you know what, let's see, okay. Let's see if I can defend this tower here. Again, we can use our leap there to get some little bit of damage. Oh, there's the Countess. Very nice. So again, you have okay wave clear, especially if you use your Boulder, which does travel through enemy minions, kind of like pushes them all back and deals actually a fairly good amount of damage. So there is the ward already in their jungle. I guess a really good ward placement would be right here to do that. So again, the cards, sorry guys, just lots is happening here and I want to kind of explain everything, make sure that it's a useful tip for you. So I'm gonna, should I freak him out here? Oh yeah, boom. 2 Madstone Gems for that early damage, because we don't necessarily, oh fantastic, amazing ultimate, fantastic pull, amazing. We don't necessarily need that regen here in the early game too much, simply because his passive is monstrous. As you can see, I have been upgrading it the most, simply because I find it is super duper powerful. It is really powerful, so I like that. So here's this Greystone. I'm a pretty good person to counter him just because I have that regen, which is very powerful. So I am a good counter. Then we get our Guardian's Ward, fully upgrade that with a whole bunch of power. So we got a lot of damage right now simply because we're relying on our ultimate to give us that sustain, to give us that tank, to actually apply that damage more over time, and then just make that equal to more damage. So here I'm going to stun him, and that's one Greystone there. I'm going to leap in here, boom! Do that, and that's one dead Greystone. Now we can go after this Twin Blast here, and again start to fake him out here with some stuns. So Kobe. and then we start getting a little bit of tank. Spiked bone plate, because we have that ultimate. The math does say, okay, so here's a perfect time where we need to stun the, oh, but it actually didn't land it. So there's a perfect example of A, missing my stun, which is super duper important, and then A, not using my ultimate soon enough. That's one of the most noob things that you can do on Rampage, that is not use your ultimate soon enough. So there, I was trying to pick up my rock, and then I was hitting my R, but it just didn't really go off that soon. So make sure you use your ultimate soon. Don't wait until it's too late, because that's not very good. So like I said, 2 Madstone Gems for that power, just because, you know, not much damage is flying around in the early game. You can get away with it, especially with your ultimate. Guardian's Ward, you just need it. And then the Spiked Bone Plate, a little bit of basic armor, simply because the math does say I do need some armor now for the math to work out, make it efficient. Not ability armor. Not ability armor at all. Not yet for a very long time. After this Spiked Bone Plate, then we go into a cheap Tempered Plate, just because we have good damage. So for some health that we can definitely use now, and that basic armor. So here I am with my Murdoch here, going to have to think of what is that opportune moment to stun a hero. Now I can use it aggressively here, but I'm gonna have to try to block this ultimate here for my Countess there. I don't think that Twin Blast ultimate is a worthy stun opportunity, but I was definitely going to stun maybe the Seraph if she gotten a little bit less health. So that's really not a significant stun there from the Narbash. So what is that opportunity here to stun somebody so that we can burst down the enemy? And that is definitely this. I'm gonna actually. Nope, there we go. This is the opportunity. Oh, and I missed it. That's a very, very bad here. Now, there we go. That should be the kill here. I'm gonna have to use my ultimate here to try to body block for my Murdoch there. And there we go. I'm trying to body block as much as we can. Yes, there we go. Good, awesome. That was very good. I think, anyways, if I say so myself. That worked nicely. Again, this Rampage, it can do a fair amount of damage. I do have that basic armor, remember, and as a fighter, I do get a fair amount of it, so I'm not too worried, and especially with this, okay, now we can definitely, not sure what he's thinking here. We do have the pull. We have so much, yeah, we have way more than enough sustain there to do this. I guess that Twin Blast. So that Twin Blast, what I was thinking there was, what is a opportune moment for me to stun him, to not get him to run away from us, and that would have been after he uses his rocket boots. He used his rocket boots, but then he kept using abilities, so I could just kind of walk right up to him. I didn't really need to do anything there. That's kind of what you're thinking. Kind of what you're thinking here with Rampage, and here I'm gonna have to try to. I'm gonna have to help my nope, of course it didn't work. Help my Richter here. Okay, I shouldn't be focusing this Greystone here, but now I'm gonna have to try to help out my. Oh, very nice ultimate. Yes. Try to body block for her. Yeah, good job, excellent. Now I can stun people here. What I can do is maybe... Ooh, Mr. Stun there, Narbash. What I can do here is try to isolate somebody like this Narbash. So I'm going to try to isolate somebody so that our Gideon and our Murdoch here can totally annihilate them. So, who is that hero? Who is that hero? I'm just trying to get in. I'm just waiting for that good moment so that we can stun somebody and just eliminate them right out of the equation here for this little 3v3. That would be. I would prefer that to be the Twin Blast. So let's see if the Twin Blast gives us that opportune moment here. Oh, yeah. No, okay. Yeah. Nobody was in position. Gideon maybe didn't have. Oh, very nice. I'm gonna use my ultimate. I'm not gonna use my leap just yet. Not gonna use my leap just yet. Oh, there we go. That was a good moment here. I think we just have to escape here. I'm gonna use my this on that, and then I'm gonna use my leap right at the last moment of your ultimate, just to make sure that you can get away. Ooh, that didn't really work out all that well. I'm gonna get this here just because I can sustain and get that health regen, so then I can just kind of continue to be here on the battlefield. What I'm gonna do is position a little bit aggressively here, so I can maybe be of help to our Gideon. So what I'm gonna do, does this Greystone have his ultimate? Yeah, he does. So really, I mean, that's just a waste opportunity. I mean, Greystone is just a waste of time in general, so it's really no point in doing anything. So, and then you attack the ward, thank you. As now my buff is gonna be basically useless. Yeah. So we didn't really use that all that well, and we should probably go back into a jungle. I haven't been in the jungle that often. But looks like this Greystone is doing a good job here, taking out our Amber Link of all things. So I do have to pressure him back a little bit. And there we go. So now that we have this Tempered Plate, we're going to go into the Swiftquake Heart next. We need some health to just increase our overall sustain period, but that attack speed is actually really, really nice. Rampage, while his okay, of course I get full card power right as I leap away. He doesn't actually, he doesn't scale very well. Like his base stats pretty bad, to be honest with you. Like he gets barely any attack damage per second. He gets no attack speed per level. He gets no, like, it's just bad. So attack speed is just going to be like a fantastic, just a fantastic thing, period. So I'm gonna try to. Here we go, and then watch this as I'm going to stun this Greystone, and that should be his death. So there is that fantastic force there. Your ultimate really isn't all that good there. So there we go, and now I'm gonna have to protect. And I missed that. I feel like this is a. I'm gonna body block here for my Countess. I'm going to try to body block for her, body block for her, body block. Okay, so now it's up to me to finish off this Serath here. I'm going to stun her, and that should be one dead Serath. There we go. I tried to body block as best as I could there. As you can see, obviously that was kind of what you're thinking here with Rampage. That left tier 2 is unfortunately, it's going to be too late before I even get there. So I might as well continue here in this lane, get some card power from these last hits. And that left tower should be okay as a Richter goes there. So, I mean, there you guys go. I mean, I think that's kind of what, you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I've kind of said that, I've said that enough. You're just trying to, like, yeah, that stun of yours is so damn powerful. So make sure that you save it for that opportune moment after that, obviously after that Greystone ultimate is a fantastic time to just keep him rooted. And watch there, look at all that damage on the minion wave. It does certainly help here with his wave clear. So you can clear it. So I'm gonna try to come in on this Gideon and just kind of. Oh, okay. Well, of course he left here. I'm gonna try to get the kill here with this Murdoch. So let's see where he is. Okay. Oh, unfortunately he left. So what I was thinking of doing there, though, was using my leap to close the gap between him and I right off the bat, which may not be, you know, you might not think that that's a very smart idea to use your only escape tool to engage, but we also have our ultimate, so I can rely on that to you know, to escape, just to sustain. So you might be noticing here that there's some other damage happening around us. There's those 20s that are just kind of taken away here because we have the Madspore Sash. Now that we have that, damn it. Now that we have that Swift Creek Heart for that little bit of extra. For the little bit of extra health, we lose the Madstone Gem, which is a good 30 power, but we gain that extra passive damage that just starts to tick away here on the enemies that hopefully we are sustaining very nicely on. So, oh, in midair, boys! There's a dead Greystone. Not sure what he was thinking there, going in without his ultimate. So. There we go. So that's kind of the thinking here with Rampage. We start off with the damage, like I had said, and like we had shown there, but then we go into more of a sustained presence, more of that body blocking, more of the just being alive here. And again, I'm going to try to body block here for no, and unfortunately. That is, that's gonna not, although I can stun this Narbash here and see if I can kill him. So, let's see. Still my ultimate here. I'm gonna leap away and be A-okay. So there's that Countess being able to clean it up here. Oh, come on, baby. Yes, yes, get away. Yes, so here I'm gonna try to think of stunning this. Oh, yes, baby! That stun, like you saw there, is so damn powerful. But here we go. So, oh, baby, yes. Well done. Oh, yes. Yes! Oh, awesome. Awesome, baby. There we go. There's some pretty good plays, ladies and gentlemen. I get pretty into it. Hopefully you guys don't mind. But now we are going for this Twin Blast, baby. Alright, I don't think I can get to him in time, unfortunately. You got away this time. And now is a very interesting time. So here we can see that the enemy team is starting to get into really good late game damage, but not too much. So what we're going to do here is actually just go into our Clear Heart here in the second slot. So now we have very significantly reduced power, but I don't want to go any further. The Scorpion Plate and Splinter Bark Vest is next. So what I'm going to do, pardon me, instead is just go into some Barrier. I don't want to be replacing anything else just yet. What I want to do is get that. So we got the Madspore Sash. We do have 2 card points. So you know what? Next is this Splinter Bark Vest for that basic shred here in the 4th slot for the Tempered Plate. And you know what? We got that guard. I am A-okay now doing that here. Simply because we can get health, a little bit of ability armor, which will be nice. And then we can go into a little bit more guard after this. We got a team fight here. Oh, fantastic job from our friendly team. 2-4-0. Now I'm gonna try to get somebody here rotating to support their team here. Now this Gideon, I'm gonna have my boop. There's the stun, and that is one dead Gideon. So now that we have this here, we're gonna be able to tank this A-okay as we can take a look here. And there we go. I'm going to have my son very soon here. Look at that. One dead Narbash trying to come in and get his team. Give his team some help. So there you guys go. Saving that stun for those opportune moments for that Gideon and also for that Narbash trying to get away. I feel like Rampage is just all about that stun. Fortunately, unfortunately, I do. He needs his friendly team to utilize that stun, that 2 seconds of just being there, you know, trying to just nuke down whoever you designate as dead. So there you guys go. Pretty dominant, friendly team here against the enemy team on some pretty good plays, if I don't say so myself. With me, hopefully that was a good showcase of Rampage, and hopefully that kind of gives you the sense of what this build is for. You start with some damage, you end up with some sustained presence on the battlefield with still some damage. You still have that Guardian's Ward, and we do keep our Swift Creek Heart for that 22% increased attack speed. So you do have some power. You do. Don't get me wrong. And it actually works out quite well. Let's go take a look at the build. Look how beastly this Obsidian skin is. Isn't this just badass? God. So here we are in the build, Indestructible Obsidian, starting with that damage, and then you end up, hopefully, being pretty hard to deal with, and being very much focused on utility for your team, with some pretty interesting cards that I think are actually pretty darn good. Just trying to shift up the meta here. So Centurion, obviously, for that health, you need it. And then we have some options. Rampage is actually really versatile. You can be in the jungle, you can be in the off lane, you can be in the safe lane as a pseudo support. Like, he's super versatile. So the very nice thing is we have the guard token and healer token if you are in the off lane. You go into the Madstone Gem if you are if you are in the jungle, just because that gives you the damage and his passive gives you the sustain. So as long as you just kite the minions, you actually do just fine. And then if you're in the safe lane, then you have some options. You can just start with the Circlet of Health. Boom. You have a really awesome stun. You have a 2-second stun there right at level 1. Get that first. Boom. You can just dominate that lane with that really nice coordination from your carry and yourself with your rock. Awesome. You can keep him and yourself alive, plus your passive. Amazing. After that, after whatever you have to go there for, then you go into your Guardian's Ward if you are in the safe lane, or a second Madstone Gem. But anyways, the first starting cards, the 2 Madstone Gems and the Guardian's Ward, then into a Spiked Bone Plate, a little bit of basic armor, just because at that point you will have enough health to warrant some basic armor. And then after that, then you get into the Tempered Plate, because you still, I mean, especially because of your ultimate, you will definitely be using that guard with a little bit of health. Now, this is pretty much mathematically sound on the health and armor department. So I like that, just because ability armor, you have tons. Sorry about that. You have tons of health. In the ability armor department, you don't need any. So after this Tempered Plate, then we go into a Swift Creek Heart. Did I get that wrong? Nope. Then into the Swift Creek Heart, because you have that armor now, you can use a little bit more health. And some kinetic. That kinetic is setting you up for the late game damage that you will be doing. After this Swift Creek Heart, then you go into the Madspore Sash. That gives you that passive of dealing damage to enemies that are close by. So you want to get right in the thick of things and last as long as possible, especially with his ultimate. Synergizes very well, so you can just tick away that damage. At the end game there, that is 25 damage per second to all enemies around you. Even if that's only 3 people, that's 75 damage a second. Hey, that adds up in a 10-second team fight. That's 750 total damage on the enemy team that you've done. That's not bad. That's really not bad. So there's a Madspore Sash with a whole bunch of guard that you save for later, like we did. Kind of, you know, you have to kind of, you know, get the sense of what you need there in that late game, because after you get that Madspore Sash, then you go into the Clear Heart, which increases all healing received by 15%, including health regen and lifesteal. So because we have that ultimate, this is going to amplify our ultimate by 15%. Given that we have some armor and some increased health, and some ability armor that we do get later on, this is like, that's going to increase your effective HP way more than you think. So there is Clear Heart. We're trying it out. I think it really synergizes well with Rampage. If anybody's going to use it, it's going to be him, or certainly Chimera. After Clear Heart, then we go into the Splinter Bark Vest. What this starts to do is giving you the ability to shred armor from targets. So this is obviously going to be fantastic for tanks, but more importantly, those rangers that have a lot of basic armor, you can really chew away at that. So tick this off when you're focusing on the enemy ranger, or of course the tanks, and that's 4 basic armor, 12, 16, 20, 24, like, and you know, and given that attack speed that we did get with Rampage, that synergizes very well with this. So you're gonna be able to shred, you know, you're gonna be able to shred a good amount of basic armor and really help out your team. Other than just being a big body and a big stun, you're going to be able to help you out your team. I really do like that idea. We do get 7 CPU worth of Greater Barrier. I'm thinking that is mathematically sound with his ultimate and with the Clear Heart regenerating that mana. You do have, by the end of your ultimate being done, and you know, you do have enough health to warrant this. So 3 Greater Barrier, 2 3-point Greater Barriers there, and a Greater Health is very, very nice. After the Splinterbark Vest, you finish it up with a Scorpion Plate. That is your other shred of war ability armor. So this I would just kind of, I would use this right when you just start the team fight, just because you want, like, as you're hitting everybody, you just want to be you want to be shredding that, so that, you know, the Howitzer ultimate, the Gideon ultimate, all those abilities can actually be doing some damage. Plus, this synergizes well with your own Madspore Sash. So that is the whole build, guys. Finish up Splinterbark Vest, Madspore Sash, Scorpion Plate, Clear Heart, Swift Creek Heart, and your Guardian's Ward. Guardian's Ward gives you some damage, works very well. You know, 5 points of damage. Hey, you know, 30 increased damage. That's okay. And of course, some kinetic, which really emphasizes well with him. Attack speed, simply because he scales so poorly, attack speed is just really valuable. Just because he scales so poorly with everything, attack speed is really valuable. So there you go. That is the build, guys. Some good damage in the early game, as you saw, and then you transition to a sustained presence, utility presence there in the late game, which I think worked really well with Rampage. You can really dictate who lives and who dies with your stun, and as long as you can kind of coordinate with your team, as long as you have a fairly competent team able to focus down that target that you have interrupted, and you know, and save your friendly team by interrupting a key ultimate or something, he can be really well. Adding in some utility with this build, I like it. You know, I like it. Trying to emphasize the late game utility. He does have a damage potential in that early game, like you did see. We did do that, and then the late game, I think his damage potential comes from his sustained presence, and I think we did that. So there you guys go. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this build. Please like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community. Of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, like the gameplay, that was a lot of fun. That was one of the most fun games I've had in a long time. Please subscribe so that I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.